it's been about a year since I actually made a video, and I've had all these videos saved on my phone that I've just been too lazy to actually put together and post. But this is just a video of how I dyed my hair red. It was red for about a year, maybe a little bit over a year. So yeah, just showing off my hair. This is the bleach, and then this is the developer that I was using. It turned out pretty okay. It was fine. It was also like 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning when I was doing this because I was bored. And I was in such a bad mood because my boyfriend was just getting on my nerves so bad. So that's why I'm kind of looking kind of grumpy. But yeah, this is me putting the bleach back into the bowl. And then I'm mixing up the bleach. The developer inside the bowl with the bleach, powder bleach. I don't at all remember how much liquid I put in there, but I know I just put it in there enough until it was kind of loose, like thickish, kind of loose, like pancake mix, kind of. After it was stirred and mixed, I did put on gloves because you don't want this bleach touching your skin because it's gonna make your skin burn and well up. I bought these little clips from, I think, the dollar store, and I section my hair off so that way it'll be a little bit easier to kind of put the bleach onto my hair a little bit neater. So that way I can remember which dreads got bleach on it, which didn't, to keep it kind of timed. Also, I know some people are so picky about if they're called dreads or locks, but honestly, I don't too much care what they're called. Either terminology is fine with me. I'm not that dedicated into the movement. So, yeah. So I parted my hair into sections of 4s with my clamps. The clamps really didn't hold that well, but they were good enough to get the job done, so I won't really complain about how I did the method. So once my hair was parted into 4s, I went ahead and started adding the bleach onto my hair. I started from the bottom and then went up to the roots because I didn't want my roots to bleach really, really fast. And plus, dreads take a lot of bleach to actually bleach evenly. So just doing them one at a time was kind of the best method for me. About 15 minutes later, I was finally done adding the bleach. I did put the bleach on my roots by this point. As you can see, based off my ends, you see that the bleach didn't really take too well, but I did just let it sit there a little bit longer. It didn't really ruin my hair. It made my hair just a little bit more brittle than initially was at first, but it wasn't too bad, so I won't complain. I can't remember exactly, but I think I let this bleach sit on my hair for maybe like 40 minutes, maybe 35, 40 minutes. I washed it out, but I didn't like that my ends really didn't take, so I did go back and put bleach on top of them, and I let it sit for maybe like 25 more minutes or whatnot, but it only lightened just slightly, so I just went ahead and just took off the foil so I can wash my hair out. As you can see, my ends really didn't take that well. It was fine, but it wasn't the best that I wanted. So I did go back and I washed my hair out for the second time, getting my ends. I can't remember if it was shampoo I didn't use or conditioner I didn't use. I can't remember because, again, this was a year ago. But I know I did mess up on this step where I didn't use something to wash this bleach out. So my ends did kind of fall out after a while, but again, it was fine. But my ends were still so brown while my roots were just so yellow. So I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to like it. And I actually didn't like it, so I did it over. But I'll show you that part towards the end. So I did use like 3 bottles of the Odor Crimson. And I actually love this color. I think I ended up using highlights or high color L'Oreal eventually, but the Crimson Adora was really the best color that I chose. It did run really, really bad, so it stained everything when it was wet. So that was really the only con that I didn't like, but the pro was that the color was beautiful. Also, one thing I noticed about the Adore Crimson, or really the Adore brand, is that if you mix it with developer, it makes the color not run so bad. So I learned that later on, like the second time that I actually dyed my hair red. So I dyed my hair red maybe like 6 times over the whole year. But I did notice that when I used developer, it didn't run so bad and it kept its color a lot longer. So that's something also to keep in mind if you do use the Adore brand. So yeah, so I think again I did part my hair into 4 sections. Just parting my hair just makes it so much easier to kind of have control over what I do. And I just added the red on top and rubbed it in. I think I probably should have bought like 4 bottles of this red, but I think 3 did fine because these dreads absorb so much. It takes so much product to get anything done. The red didn't really stain my face too bad, so I'm not too much worried about it being on my skin. But this is just how I applied it. I went ahead and I fast forwarded how I actually applied the dye to my hair because obviously the process is going to be the same for the whole entirety of my head. So I wasn't going to do like a full video of me just adding red to my whole head. But yeah, I just kind of rubbed it in, applied it down, rubbed it in, opened up, like sectioned off that one section and added to the middle over and over and just rubbed it into my hair. Again, dreads absorb everything, so I think I probably needed more bottles, but I can't really remember. It did work out with what I did use. Plus, I did go back over it later on because I didn't too much like how it came out. But this is how I did it. I'm pretty sure it's probably a little bit easier and neater if you do it with a brush, but it was, by then, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning maybe. So I wasn't about to do it the slow way. So by now I have half of my head done. I'm moving on to the left side of my head. I think it's the left side of my head. I think I was on bottle number 2 by now. And I just did the same process with the left side or right side or whatever side of my head this is. So I did with the other side. So repetitive, same process. So by now I am on the back of my head. I think I was working my way into bottle number 3, but just trying to squeeze out as much as bottle number 2 as I could, just to make sure there was no product left behind. At this point, my whole head is red, and I'm just going back with the rest of bottle number 3 to add more red to the parts that were still kind of orange. So at this point, I'm just really doing touch-ups. And then I end up just rubbing my dress together into my scalp so that way any extra wetness that I had was still absorbed into my ends because as you see, some of my ends just didn't get any of the red on it. So now I have all of the hair dye into my head and I'm just squeezing out the last little bits of bottle number 3 just to make sure again that I got all of the product out of the bottles. That way nothing goes to waste. Strangely enough, this video has been fast forwarded, but it looks like I'm just still going so slow. And I was not going that slow at all when I was doing this process. But the fast forward, it just looks like I'm just going regular speed, which is a little bit weird to me. But I'm just showing that I have color on all of those orange spots. And again, just filling in what I can with the rest of the product. So I did tie this off with one of those plastic little Kroger bags. And I let it sit on my hair for, I think, maybe like 2 hours. Probably a little longer than that. Because I know that with Adore, if you let it sit, it sticks to the hair better. So this is just my hair after it was washed. And I think maybe towel dried or blow dried. I can't remember. I was not happy at all with the different colors. Like, I did not like that darkness at all. I didn't mind the roots. The roots is cool. But the darkness, I did not like. So the next day, probably the same day, later that day, I did go back in with bleach. And I put bleach on the darker spots of the hair to see if I can lighten it back up. I put on my face mask because by this point, that bleach was irritating my chest so bad. I just couldn't take it anymore. So luckily I had my little handy dandy face mask near me while I mixed this stuff up. So I only put bleach on the dark spots. I didn't put it all over my dreads because I didn't want to, for one, I didn't want to over bleach my hair too bad and my hair falls out, because I went through that the year before when I was trying to go from red to blue, and it was just very traumatic. I didn't want to go through that process again. So I only put bleach on the really dark areas to lighten up a little bit. I didn't even leave the bleach on there longer than like 30 minutes, probably like 15, 20 minutes. Just because I just really only wanted them to be lightened up. It really didn't take me too long to do this. Maybe like 10 minutes, because I was just kind of spot treating it. So maybe like 10, maybe 15 minutes it took to this whole process. And this is how it looked after the bleach. It didn't really make it any better. It matched the roots, but then it made the rest of the dress just dark and nasty looking. So as you can see, it did lighten up a lot of the dark areas. I still wasn't too much liking it because, as you see, it was now different colors. So this is why I went in with the Loreal Hicolor. I think I used red and magenta, and I just added that on top of my hair. But this time I used a brush because the Loreal Hicolor is more like a paste instead of like a liquid, like a wet liquid. I know this sounds so stupid. It was just easier to apply with the brush, basically. By this point, I have pretty much all of that Loreal Hicolor added onto that unevenness of the color. I did like how this color came out, but I did think it was a little bit too bright, a lot brighter than what I really wanted, but I ended up liking the color after maybe like 24 hours of having it in my head. Maybe because I was forced to, because I wasn't going to take it out. But either way it goes, I adapted it, and I liked the color after that. So I did go back and put that little plastic bag back on my head, only because it was like the afternoon, and I knew I was going to be laying down and walking around, that I really didn't want to risk getting this red stuck on anything else, because I had already ruined the kitchen with the door getting everywhere when I was washed it out. I think I let this sit for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so. So yeah, so this is just a couple of pictures from how my hair was for over that year. I really loved my red. It was so much easier to touch it up when it faded than it was to dye the whole thing back red. I'm just going to give it some time to kind of rejuvenate because it did get fragile. And I'll probably go back maybe next year. But yeah, thanks for watching. Just showing you how my red turned out. Hope you like it.